Hello, hello. Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to talk about effortlessly, clearly that word's not effortless, effortlessly managing your workload as a freelancer or anyone, right? There are a few key things that you can do to manage your workload. And this is really important because when we are freelancing or when we run an agency, when we have a B2B service providing business, a lot of our income is tied to how much work we can actually get done and the mental load that comes with running a team and providing really high quality can be a lot, right? And so we want to make this process as friction-free, as seamless and smooth as possible. Let me just plug this in. Okay. My screen was going to conk out. All right, done. So how many things are we going to go through here? We're going to talk about 4 things today that are going to help you to do that easier. And the first one is quite obvious. Number 1 is using a project management software. Now, I'd say maybe half my clients do this well. And what I would recommend here is that this is set up in a way that has automations or for like a rotating schedule of repetitive tasks. Now, again, it sounds obvious, but if you're doing the same social media posts for a client every week or every month, let's just have all of that on repeat. So when you click done, the next date becomes due the next month or the next week. And so with my clients inside Agency Academy, we give you our ClickUp templates that have like full scale marketing agency checklist that you can have and take and change to suit you. But some version of that is a total game changer for saying goodbye to the mental load of all of the tasks across all of the clients that you need to manage. And then using that software, you can also use it for projects that are scheduled across weeks and weeks and weeks so you don't overcommit. That way you can map it, like depending what you use, you can link this to your calendar so you can see the tasks physically, like not physically, but you can see the tasks like blocked off on your Google Calendar or your Outlook. And then when you're telling a client when you're going to deliver the project, you can see, okay, I know when I can fit this in based on everything else. It saves so much time and stress. Now, if you're already doing this, amazing. It sounds obvious. I guarantee a lot of you are not running it this way. So we use ClickUp because we liked the time tracking function on it. The staff, we liked the Gantt charts and the project management side. Before that, we used Asana, which is a great free version, a free one. So depending what you want to use, there's a few out there. We've tried a lot, but I recommend just picking one and setting it up, making sure it has all the features that you actually need to have. So if you want to have a strategy session based on that, then send me DM on Instagram and we can chat about that. So why is this helpful? It's helpful because you don't have to remember anything. You don't have to remember tasks. Our brains are not meant to retain this much information, right? We're busy. We've got lots going on personally, professionally. Our brains are meant for processing. And so a project management system allows us to do that. We don't have to remember and retain information. We can just use our brains for what they're meant for. You're also going to feel a heap more productive. You can track the time spent on tasks, like I mentioned. You can keep track of staff work. You can keep track of scope creep because it's not if it's not on the original plan and you're doing that task, then that's going to become really obvious when you can't check it off. Nothing can get missed here. And you know how you are spending your time. I work with a lot of clients on time management, time blocking, how we, how we can be with our families and look after our bodies and do great work and be creative and all of that. It's hard in today's fast-paced world to get that balanced, and it's never going to be perfect. So let's not strive for perfect, but it can feel spacious and fun and challenging and all of those things. It can feel like how you want it to feel. It doesn't have to feel, life doesn't have to feel stressful, and maybe the solutions are a little bit outside the box, but you'll begin to notice when you use a software like a project management software that like kind of where the gaps are and how you're spending your time and maybe how you prefer to spend your time. All right, number 2 is planning your day the night before. And if you want to like dive into this more, when you finish your week, either on a Friday or a Sunday, to plan the week ahead. That might not be as in detail, but definitely know what you're doing the next week. But at the end of your day, plan the next day. Seriously, this will help you switch off at the end of the day and be more productive when you start work. When you know exactly what it is that you need to get done and when you're going to do it, it means that you don't waste time flicking between tabs and emails and trying to prioritize. You just get in and do it. What this means too is that you can move tasks around ahead of time. And that means that if it doesn't make sense to do things when they are, then you get to move them, right? So that way you're ready to make moves as soon as you're at your desk. You know what is coming. You know how you have to be for the day. You can get in the zone in the morning, in your morning routine. And when you do that, you will find that your whole approach to the day is different. There's a very different energy about it. There's limited surprise, and you get to plan ahead with projects. When you know what's happening and you take control of your day and are intentional about how you're spending your time, you learn to say no more when your day is already scheduled out. So it might feel really super structured, but again, I say this all the time, this is what gives us the freedom. We're not worrying about a certain client project because we know we're going to do it on Wednesday, right? We're not worrying about something because we know it's like, oh, hang on, I'm going to do this at this day. We'll talk about that a bit more in a little bit. Number 3 task is do not live in your inbox. Don't live in your inbox. I mean it. Like, don't have your inbox open all day. Choose ahead of time when, and definitely do not have notifications on. Ever, 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 ever. Turn them all off. Off socials, off. I don't like to give orders, but like, come on. Maybe this is one order that I'm allowed to give. Please turn off your notifications. Unless you're in a really, I don't think you need to. Unless you're like doing surgery, there's no really urgent tasks. So don't have your inbox open. Choose ahead of time when you're going to read and respond to emails. For me, I check my emails when I first get to my desk. I skim them. I skim my inbox, maybe even while I'm making a coffee or something, and I make sure there are no fires. 95, probably 99% of the time, there are no fires. I don't typically open emails unless I'm unsure. In the morning, I just look at scan headlines to go like, okay, looks okay. And then I leave everything unread and I wait until my designated email slot to check them and respond to them. And I do that. I check them and I respond to them and I get rid of them. This is such a big mindset shift for people, but slowly I can see that this one is becoming more the norm. Like last week, I was so excited. I was like happy dancing. In the response to my weekly email out, I got maybe 5 replies from people, auto replies that said something like, I only check my emails at certain times and I'll respond in due course. And I was so happy. And you also don't need the autoresponder because you're going to check them that day. So autoresponder, yeah, if you're going away for a couple of days, amazing. But just as a typical thing, we don't need to, we teach people how to treat us and we teach people how we work. And so if you get an email at 9 o'clock and you've got meetings from 9 until 12, then on just a typical normal day, they're not going to get a response until that afternoon, right? That's normal. That's okay. So as long as you're responding in like a 24-hour window, we don't need to justify our response time. My clients know that they can WhatsApp me, my high level clients know that they can WhatsApp me if there's something that's urgent. And then I know like, oh, that's something that I actually get notified of, right? And then I know that I need to get someone onto whatever issue that is. It happens so rarely that, and that's a system that we have in place, but we don't need to answer emails as soon as they're in our inbox. It's not a thing. Like, let's let go of that. As long as you're responding within 24 hours, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Because if we do not take control of our schedules, then we are not taking control of our lives. And that means someone else is in control. And your inbox is everybody else's demands for your time. It's everyone else's demands for your time. Very little of your emails will be related to your own priorities for the day, because your priorities for the day are on your calendar. Which also brings me, I guess, to staff communication. So for maximum ease, what we recommend, the majority of staff communication should be through your project management software or a chat function like Google Chat or Slack. My staff don't email me unless it's like a timesheet or it's CCing in with clients. I don't get emails from staff. That's not where we communicate in that way. We use Slack for that. And that brings me to number 4, which is time blocking and grouping like activities. And again, we're talking about calendars again, right? Time blocking is a total game changer for your entire life. For example, I like to group all of my meetings. I have days when I have meetings and I have days when I don't have meetings. And I group my client work time and my content time and my creativity time and my free time. It's all organized on a calendar. That way, I'm not context switching. I can concentrate and I can get in the zone a lot quicker if I'm reviewing client deliverables, for example, or I'm checking ad campaigns, than having to go in and out of programs and tabs and everything else all the time. So I don't work by client. Typically, I work on a project for the client. So if it's ad campaign, then I might be looking at their whole funnel and their automations and their ads and stuff in one go, but it's all thinking about like that one campaign. Or if I'm just regularly, like I do a couple of times a week, go in and check Facebook ads, then I'm just checking Facebook ads for all of our clients. So I do the same thing in my personal life. And I know when I'm going to the gym, I know when I'm doing my laundry, I know when I'm having date night, I know when I'm paying bills and life admin and all the things. And this week, sometimes it becomes problematic, right? Like this week I went away and my suitcase was left unopened, like just left there for 4 days because it wasn't on my calendar. And then it annoyed me so much. I kept on seeing it in like on my way to do something else. And it annoyed me, so I put it on my calendar. Why? Because I bookmarked every single hour. And yes, I'm that ridiculous. And it was going to take me an hour to get all of that laundry sorted and put all the stuff away. And I didn't want to sacrifice my sleep and I didn't want to sacrifice my family time or anything else to do it when I didn't have time to do it. So it waited. And I'm fine with that. Now, you don't have to be that bananas, but that's just an example of what this week was for me. And I'm fine with it. There's no shame. I didn't care. Like when I was ready, I put it on the calendar and we're done. Everyone's fine. Work got done, laundry got done, happy days. So that's it. Those are the 4 ways. These are the 4 ways to help you manage your workload effortlessly. Number 1, use project management software. Complete game changer because our brains are not made for retaining information, they're made for processing. Number 2, plan your day the night before and your week in advance if you can. It helps you to switch off and be more productive. Number 3, do not live in your inbox. Turn off your notifications and just go in once a day or twice a day if you really need to and do everything in there that needs to be done, or schedule the things out, but then clear out your inbox. Number 4 is time block the activities that group them in like activities. This is going to again, just remove the mental load. And it's not about being perfect. You can move them around. You can decide to ignore what's on the calendar for that time. But knowing when you're your best, when you want to be creative, when you want meetings, it just makes everything, it takes away the friction because you're not context switching. You're doing everything when you've decided you want to do it. You've got makeup on the day you want makeup on. It makes everything easier. All right. They're my 4. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know which one was your favorite, which one you might implement. Chat with me in the DMs, and thank you so much for listening. I will see you on the next one.